Hi, my name is Brian Grijalva, and I'm going to be talking about eating disorders. So imagine it's your typical Thursday morning. You wake up, you go to school, and you meet up with a couple of your friends. And you realize that one of your friends has lost a significant amount of weight, has been wearing baggy clothes, and has been kind of isolated from the rest of the group. You might overlook this, but that friend of yours could be one of the 70 million people around the world who suffer from an eating disorder, especially since 95% of people who do have an eating disorder are within the ages of 12 to 25. The problem of eating disorders is both significant locally and around the world. In the United States, according to the Journal of International Eating Disorders, 30 million people across the whole nation suffer from at least some sort of eating disorder, which includes 13 million people who binge eat and the 11 million men and women who suffer from anorexia and bulimia. Now, on a more global scale, the United Kingdom has 1.6 million people with an eating disorder, with anorexia, bulimia, and others on the rise. Moreover, Australia, 9% of the Australian population has an eating disorder, and in a country like India, the amount of eating disorders has increased 10 times in the last 15 years. Which leads me to the question of what are the impacts of eating disorders and how can they best be addressed? My group and I looked at three different aspects of this problem, those them being the social aspect, the health aspect, and mine, the economic aspect. Through social media and TV, we see a lot of superstars, athletes, and actresses who have good bodies, and we try to imitate these people since we look up to them. Half of all women are unsatisfied with their body, and in order to try to obtain this satisfaction, they can go through they could develop an eating disorder. This is prevalent in minors too. 80% of all 10-year-olds are afraid of being fat, and from 1st to 3rd grade, 42% of all girls are afraid of want to be thinner. And a study conducted in Canada shows how 20% of all children are unsatisfied with their bodies, and it keeps increasing with age. An eating disorder can have a detrimental impact on one's health. When you eat less, your brain is receiving less nutrients, and what that causes is it causes you to be less focused, more moody, and to withdraw from friends and social groups. It can affect your heart because by eating less, your heart rate decreases, and when your heart rate decreases, less blood is being pumped throughout your body, and then it causes you to be more lazy and tired throughout the day. Moreover, it can cause your tendons to slow down and produce constipation, and it can mess around with your hormones, testosterone for males, and it can mess up the menstrual cycle for women, and cause kidney failure. More importantly, one thing that also affects greatly is the muscles, because when people go on a diet, they assume that their body is going to take the fat cells and turn them into energy, and that they'll get skinnier, but that actually doesn't work. Your body will take up lean muscle tissue and convert that into energy, so you will be getting skinnier, but it's not healthy. You're losing muscle instead of tissue, instead of fat. Now onto my aspect, the economic aspect. The people who have an eating disorder, it costs a lot to treat someone with an eating disorder. Not just the disorder itself, but all the side effects that I previously explained. In the United States, the number of hospitalizations for someone with an eating disorder has increased by 18%. That's an increase in 37% in males and 119% in people under 12 years old, which costs a lot of money treating these people and the other side effects. In Australia, the total amount of money in 2012 that it took to treat these people with these eating disorders was a total of $70 million. Employment. An eating disorder can greatly affect your employment and how much money you gain in a job. Because the moment you get an application and you write that you have either anorexia, bulimia, or any other sort of eating disorder, automatically your chances of being employed to that job go down, and the amount of money you earn will go down as well. The problem with this is people with these eating disorders are earning less money, but the cost it takes to treat the disorder is still the same. So it's harder for them to gain the money needed to treat their eating disorder. In the United Kingdom, the impact of time off work for people over 20 compared to those who didn't have this time off work was 9,500 euros. Treatment costs. It costs a lot of money to treat these disorders and the side effects. In the United Kingdom, the average annual cost for just one person was 8,850 euros. In the United States, any sort of program or rehabilitation program can cost about $30,000 for just 1 month, which is not sufficient. You're probably going to need more. Moreover, in Australia, the average cost to cure one person completely of anorexia was $100 million, was $100,000 over the course of months and years. Now, there have been many cases where a person has had anorexia for about a decade, and that can lead up to costs of over $200,000. Luckily, there are many global and local organizations that have done something about this problem and the money that it costs to get these treatments. First, you have the Kirsten Huntington Foundation, which what it does is it provides hope, networking, and more importantly, financial aid to those people who don't have enough money to pay for their eating disorders and the treatment for the eating disorders. The Eating Disorder Recovery Support does the same thing by providing people who don't have funds, providing them money so that they can go to a hospital or somewhere where they can get their mental illness, their eating disorder checked out, and it does this through a variety of campaign like fundings. Now, on a more global scale, the Butterfly Foundation, located in Australia, is a foundation that represents all people affected by this disorder and advocates for treatment and advocates to the local government of Australia and around the world and private institutions to find more effective ways and to lower the cost of the treatment for these eating disorders. Moreover, the Academy for Eating Disorders is a global organization that deals with the research of eating disorders and its treatment and prevention to try to find new and improved ways to make it cheaper for the people to get the treatment. One solution that I came up with was to create a mobile app, since nowadays technology is everywhere, where two people from around the world could interact with each other and talk about the different problems that they've had and how to overcome them. Especially since every 62 minutes, one person dies from an eating disorder, so they can help prevent and lower this number.